Hello, and welcome to this episode of JPZilla. And in this video, we are going over everything spotted in the new Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. And immediately, right away, there is a giant explosion. Because, of course, every good kaiju movie needs an explosion. We do not know what's caused this yet, but there you can clearly see Mechagodzilla towering over the fleeing pedestrians. We knew Mechagodzilla would be coming for quite some time due to a toy fair which showcased Godzilla vs. Kong merchandise by Playmates. Some fans of the franchise were able to get a few sneaky shots in, and suddenly they're all over the internet. One of these shots showcased Mechagodzilla with the silver and red color we see in the first trailer. Now, we clearly see Kong being transported by this boat like we do in the original King Kong vs. Godzilla in 1962. This is a very good callback to that movie, and I don't think it'll be the only one. Now we see the Warner Bros. And the legendary shots with the mural, just like last time in King of the Monsters. It's very interesting that the mural is blue this time. I guess because of Godzilla's fire breath. And now we see King Kong in shackles. Now this can either be Apex, a organization that we assume is closely related to Monarch somehow. We also assume that it's going to be a corrupt organization, but I'm betting that this is Monarch, and that Monarch is trying to use Kong to ward off Godzilla, who for some reason has turned against humanity. We'll see that discussed later. And there's this girl that they keep talking about in the trailer. Apparently she has some kind of bond with Kong. He's like the only one that will communicate with him, and the only one he will communicate with. I guess they're gonna try to use her to get Kong to fight Godzilla somehow. Yeah. My guess is that it's Monarch trying to get him to fight Godzilla, because we see that they're gonna fight, and in a later shot we see a map with some sticky notes that and one of the sticky notes questions whether Godzilla and Apex are connected. Yeah. In fact, there are a lot of these notes, and they're very interesting. They actually tell us a lot. We see Kong in chains again. I'm not sure if this is before or after the Godzilla fight on the boat. I'm guessing before. I'm guessing they transported him from another location, or tried to anyway. And yeah. And we see Godzilla. He looks mad, or something. He looks terrifying anyway. This is a really great shot. Yeah, he's acting very unusual, which makes me wonder if this shot, this movie, I mean, is actually having Apex influence him. Maybe a bit of mind control. Or if humanity has just done something to make Godzilla really mad. We know that Godzilla is a defender of nature, so it could be assumed that maybe he's angry by the creation of Mechagodzilla. I'm guessing that Mechagodzilla was an Apex project. Maybe that's why the note that we're going to see in a bit says Godzilla plus Apex question mark. That theoretical connection. Maybe they're gonna have Mechagodzilla disguise himself as Godzilla, and that's why the note suggests that Godzilla and Apex are connected. Now, we know that Godzilla is tracking Kong due to one of the teasers in which a voice that sounds very much like Emma Russell from King of the Monsters, even though she's presumably dead. It sounds very much like that. Maybe it's a past thing, like a recording or something. It says, Godzilla, he will come for him. And of course, he's probably talking about Kong. Maybe it's not her voice, it just sounded a lot like it. But either way, we know that Godzilla is coming for Kong. Now, I have a theory about this. I think that perhaps Godzilla sees Kong as a threat because he won't bow down to Godzilla. Because as we see in the King of the Monsters novelization, when the elf call was yelled by Ghidorah, we see a chapter with Kong where he's like, I don't care, I'm not going to bow down to you, I'm just going to stay on my island. So yeah, we have a lot of reason to assume that Kong will not bow down to Godzilla either. So perhaps Godzilla sees Kong as a threat now that he's off of Skull Island somehow and won't bow down to him. So he's trying to chase him down and kill him or make him bow. But I also find it odd. It probably connects to him attacking humanity somehow. I'm not sure how it would connect. But it does somehow. And now we see Ren Serizawa here. We in that one shot, and we know it's Ren Serizawa because the actor is confirmed to be playing a character named Ren Serizawa on IMDb, and Ren Serizawa has some connection to Dr. Serizawa from King of the Monsters and Godzilla 2014. And now we see the map. We saw the map briefly. I'm gonna pull up the screenshot, and we can see a lot of notes. One of them, we know, says Godzilla plus Apex with a question mark. And a newspaper headline says UN vetoes Godzilla. Another newspaper says Godzilla attack claims lie, which further confirms that Godzilla will be playing the role of the bad guy in this film. We also see a lot of sticky notes that look like they're telling us the location of Apex facilities. There seems to be a lot of them in Africa. Another note says, what's next? Question mark. Number 1, Apex facility. Number 2, government building. And number 3, water facilities. I can't make out number 4 on the note. I am guessing that this note is trying to theorize where Godzilla will attack next. We also see a lot of the notes say Godzilla attack and Godzilla sighted. So Godzilla is definitely waging war against the human civilization somehow. And in this next shot, we clearly see Kong in the Hollow Earth, and we see the Heave vehicle behind him. This was another vehicle leaked with the Skullcrawler toy from Godzilla vs. Kong, and it's supposed to be a Monarch vehicle used for exploring the Hollow Earth. And in this shot, we actually see the Nozuki, which were also leaked. But then Playmates released a toy of a creature that looked like a Nozuki with a different color scheme called Warbat. And so people think that the Nozuki have been replaced with the Warbat, but I think that the Warbat is a subspecies of Nozuki, probably a weaker subspecies, and that the Nozuki are the top of the chain, at least in the Hollow Earth. A lot of people think that they're the Hollow Earth alphas, and it could be even that the Warbat and the Nozuki, one of them's a subterranean variant and the other is an above-Earth variant. That's just a theory, I have no proof. We see something very interesting. It looks like Kong is standing on a Godzilla mural, but the Godzilla mural is a lot bigger than Kong. And Kong is the same size as Godzilla in this movie, at least for some of it. So I am wondering whether this is Kong at his 2021 height, which is actually a bit taller than Godzilla, or if this is Kong at his 2017 movie size, which would explain why the mural is so much bigger than he is. Otherwise, the mural is just a lot bigger than Godzilla. Also, the dorsals on that mural look more like the 2014 than the 2019, and that is because that's the natural look of the dorsal fins. Godzilla's are actually a bit malformed because they were blown off by the Muto Prime and then regrown. In this shot, we clearly see that the city looks very futuristic, so I'm wondering if this is going to be set in the future, kind of like Pacific Rim was, or if the technology has just gotten better in this timeline, like in the 2019 King of the Monsters movie. And we see Kong's axe, and apparently has the ability to reflect Godzilla's energy, at least block it, but it also looks like it's getting charged by it. You can see the axe, it starts glowing when it's hit by the radiation. That's probably because it's made out of a Godzilla dorsal scale, which probably has natural properties that allow the axe to absorb the radiation, and even get kind of a boost off of it. That's my theory, anyway. And another thing I'd like to mention is that these bat creatures that we saw attacking Kong are actually probably Kamazot's creatures. We've seen in some panels that have been shown to us of the new Godzilla vs. Kong tie-in comic featuring Kong that there is a bat-like creature called Kamazot. It was a bat-like creature and has a flock of bats flying around with him all the time. I am not sure how big a role these Kamazot's creatures will play in the movie, but in the comic book, he will be the main villain. I also want to mention in that one shot of the trailer, we see this new character say the myths are real, there really was a war, and she also mentioned that Kong and Godzilla are the only survivors. Which makes me think that the Kong species and the Godzilla species once had a war with each other. But it could also be referring to the ancient Kong and Skullcrawler War, which we see in the Kong 2017 prequel comic book. Maybe the Godzilla species were involved in that too, I am not sure. Another thing I want to talk about is in the shot with Godzilla firing his atomic breath at the axe, the dorsal fins of Godzilla actually look a lot shorter and maybe even a bit broken looking. Definitely more like the 2014 version. Which makes me wonder if they got broken at some point and regrew, kind of like in the King of the Monsters comic, where he fought Muto Prime, and Muto Prime blew off his dorsal fins, which explains why they look different in the King of the Monsters movie. Maybe Kong breaks his dorsal fins, which is why he has a shard on his axe of the dorsal fin. Well, I don't know about you, but I am really excited for this movie. This is all I have to say for now about this first Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this trailer, or anything you've noticed. And if you liked this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe.